Okie dokie. So you have a test, a test on Thursday. Okay? Tomorrow we will review, and it will be pretty much what you see here. Okay? So you will have 1 or 2 questions like this equation. These are the 6 steps that we've been using. Find the balance point. On this side, and we're only worried about this side, so cover up one side, we're distributing a negative. But we're not really distributing just a negative, we're distributing a negative what?
1.
Negative 1. So now I distribute the negative 1 to the 3x. That means multiply, which is negative 3x. Negative 1 times a negative 8, which is positive 8, plus 4. Now I combine like terms on the same side. We only do inverse operations when they're on opposite sides. So negative 3x comes down, plus 12. Fair enough on that. Okay. Here we're just combining like terms. 2x's plus 3x's is 5x's plus 10. So now I'm going to, gosh darn it, add 3x to both sides. That gives me positive 12 equals 8x plus 10. From here I subtract 10. Now listen, this is where it becomes a little bit new. That leaves me 8x equals 2. I divide by 8. Don't give me a decimal. Your calculator knows how to turn this into a fraction. Second table or second PRB, and this needs to be a fraction of 1/4. You will start seeing more and more fractions because now you've shown me that you can do basics, but now I need to start upping the rigor a little bit to get you ready for the harder things. Does that sound fair?
I got 2.
I did too, so I don't even know.
Okay, let me take a look. Okay, so a negative times a positive 3x is negative 3x. You have positive 3x. That changes the whole problem.
Oh no, I need 2. I know. Okay, I don't even know what I did.
Okay, so you subtract 3x, those already a negative. So you have to add. And then you don't do it to both, just to one. You have to combine those first.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, number 2, listen. Y'all, listen, this is tricky. Some of you are still going to make mistakes, and that's all right. That's what I'm here for, to help you. This one, y'all can do. Every single one of you is very capable of doing this. So, here's what happens. Hi, Holly. Go around this way and hold on. Just sit on my desk, please. Okay, so with this, you are given an x. So we're substituting it into the x, and that's 3 times the x, which is 0. 3 times 0 is 0, so the ordered pair is 0, 0. Here we've got 3 multiplied by 1, which is 3, which gives me 1, 3. 3 times, what's x? Tells me it's 2, which is 6, which is 2, 6. 3 times 3, which is 9, which is 3, 9. And then 3 times, what is my new x? 4, which is 12, which gives me 4, 12. So now I have all of those. But now I'm going to graph. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 0, 0, 1, 3, 2, 6, 3, 9, 4, 12. So here's my question. From what we did yesterday, is this direct variation? What had to happen for a graph to be direct variation? Do you remember? There's 2 things. Does everybody remember?
It is.
It is direct variation. So what 2 things happen here that makes it direct variation?
It has to repeat.
Okay, there has to be a constant, which is good. In this one, it's 3. But it has to go through the origin, and it has to be a straight line. The 2 things, it goes through the origin, and it has to be a straight line. What questions do we have? Okay. So you will see questions like both of these on your test on Thursday. You like to erase, okay? Because I have to erase. I want to keep it. Okay. So you'll have to watch the movie. Okay? Those of you who are here, are we good? Excellent. Okay. So you're going to need a little bit of notes, but then all of the work is going to be done on something else. And just like yesterday, you guys did a great job yesterday. And I want you to hear me and know that I'm not just trying to make you feel good. You guys really did well yesterday. Like, I went home and even told my wife, I was like, it worked really well. Like, the way that I taught yesterday's lesson wasn't on me. Go ahead and, you guys did really, really well. So, I'm excited to see how we do with this today. So we're going to be using this worksheet a lot. Okay, this packet's going to end up being our homework, but the goal is to get through at least the first 3. So when we talk about direct variation, there is an equation that we have to know. So please help me out. What's the direct variation equation from yesterday? So go back to your notes from yesterday. What was the equation for direct variation? Maris, any idea?
No,
Do you have your notes from yesterday?
I think
Okay.
somewhere.
Y equals K.
There it is. Y equals Kx. What did the K stand for? It has the starting sound, but a different first letter. What does the K stand for?
Constant.
The constant. And we talked about God being constant, unchanging. The constant in math is unchanging. But we need to know how to find the constant. To find the constant, we do y's divided by x equals k. You need to know both of these. Okay, you need these. So I would copy both of those down if you do not have those. Now, in a graph, for it to be direct variation, there's 2 things. It has to pass through the what? We just said it. In the origin, which is 0, 0. Has to go through the origin, and it has to be what? What kind of graph? Straight line. Okay, so those are the 2 things that have to happen in a graph. Now, you're going to get a question like this on your test on Thursday. Is it direct variation? And it's going to show you something like this. Actually, let's go. Okay, so you're going to get something like this, and it's going to say, is it direct variation? And we're going to need to figure out, don't know. In order for it to be direct variation, there has to be a constant. So if you get a question like this, you're going to make a 3rd column that is called K. And you have to check each individual thing. The constant is y divided by x, right? So we're doing y divided by x. Get your calculators. So we start by doing 5 divided by 1. Yeah, it's 5. Okay. So right now, the constant better be 5 all the way down. Then we do 20 divided by 4. Okay, so far so good. 40 divided by 8. 45 divided by 9. 250 divided by 50. Should be 5. Okay? The constant, so now I can say k equals 5. We know what the constant is. What's the equation for that table, though? If we have the constant,
Y equals 5x.
there it is. The equation is y equals 5x. Is this direct variation? Yes, because of the constant. Everybody with me? Okay. So now we're doing work on this paper. Number 1 says determine the constant of variation. So we're looking for the constant. We're going to do A, B, and C. A says the distance traveled by a bus varies directly with time. The bus travels 240 kilometers in 3 hours. We're looking for the constant. So 240 kilometers in 3 hours, how would we find the constant? Same thing for B. 5 books cost $35. C, 500 liters of water after 5 minutes. I want you guys to talk about it. You're going to get about a minute and a half. Use your calculators. Find the constant for A, B, and C. You know that to find the constant, what mathematical operation do we have to do? Divide. You're going to use division. Go ahead. So we're doing A, B, and C right now. So you're going to need your calculators. Think about what we were doing yesterday with the roses, the extremely expensive mascara, which I found is called a bottle, and it has a brush, and it goes not on your eyebrows, but your eyelashes. Look at me learning yesterday, too.
Did you not know what mascara was?
No.
I got confused. As somebody who's never used mascara?
Yeah.
Can I use Mr.?
Don't they put it on male cheerleaders though?
Never at mine.
No, that's good.
Sam, or you have to wear it for stage makeup for theater.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, y'all.
Theater, you
Come
know,
on, come on, come on, come on. Let's
like
focus,
guys
please.
wear mascara.
Let's go. Focus. We should almost already be done with A, B, and C. Like you should have the constant for A, B, and C. Number 1. I put number 2, it should be number 1. I don't know why I put 2. I'm jumping ahead, I'm getting excited. I don't know if you guys know this, I love math. Like, doing math, I really do get excited when I teach this.
Wait.
Okay, I'll wait.
For number 8, do we just divide, right?
If that's what you think, yeah. Okay, so you should be writing this down. So, letter A. It was saying 240 kilometers and 3 hours. So what do we do to find the constant?
I did 240 divided by 3.
Absolutely. So we do 240 divided by 3 equals k, which is what?
80.
80. But we're not just going to put 80. Because it's a word problem, we're going to put words with it. It's 80 kilometers per hour. So when it says, what does k represent? It represents kilometers per hour. So every hour we're driving, if we were in the metric system, 80 kilometers per hour. The next one was books, is that correct? So Olivia, what am I dividing in letter B?
Divide in B.
Mm-hmm.
35.
By 5, right? And it's $35 for 5 books, right? So that's my constant, which gives me 7. Well, 7 what? It's $7 per book. So my constant is $7 for every 1 book. You need to understand what the constant actually represents. Does that make sense? Like yesterday, it was $25 for what? For the bottle of mascara. I didn't just say $500. Well, $500 for however many bottles of mascara it was. So it's $7 for the 1 book. And I don't know what the last one is. What's the last one? Somebody help me.
Water.
Water, and what is it though?
500 ml of water after 5 minutes.
500 liters divided by 5, which is my constant, which gives me 100 liters per minute. So if a question asks you, what does the constant represent, you need to have whatever the units are. Liters per minute, kilometers per hour. In my second period, they all wrote equations. They said, Mr. H, the constant is y equals 80x. Well, no. The constant's 80, that's the equation. The direct variation equation is y equals 7x. The equation is y equals 100x. You need the constant in order to write the equations, but the constant is the number next to the x. Okay? So now, take a look at number 2. Number 2 is only confusing because it gives you the cost C, S meters. Don't worry about that C and S. Don't worry about that. It says the cost C in dollars of building a concrete sidewalk varies directly, direct variation, with its length S in meters. You should be copying this down. That way you have it. Okay? Letter A says find an equation relating C and S if a 200-meter sidewalk costs $4,500. I'm telling you right now that it will be a decimal. That's fine. So, in order to write an equation, what do you need to find first? You need to find the constant to write an equation. Then, flip it over. Letter B asks for what does the constant represent? And then letter C says, use the equation that you make to determine the cost of a 700-meter sidewalk. So you're doing all of number 2 right now. Go ahead. Again, you guys can talk. You don't have to just sit there silently. Help each other out. But you need to find the constant first.
Wait, what are we on?
So do I mark you tardy? Like I don't know if you're tardy or not. You're doing number 2.
The total cost.
No,
Like numbers.
Like the actual number 2.
Numbers.
right here.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
I'm gonna do. Perfect. 22 what? What is this? Yeah, there you go. Per what? One. So it's $4,500 divided by what's the M? So it's $22 cents per 1 meter.
I was so sick yesterday.
My nose was so wrong.
So again, you need to divide to find the constant. Once you divide, then you need to put it into the equation.
I'll try my best.
Number 7.
You're doing it backwards.
I'll
You're
try.
doing it backwards. That would be why.
I probably I can see that in the back.
That might be a good idea if it actually shows your work. So let's see if I have everything copied down. Right, just that way when you use this,
450 divided by 200. Is that the answer?
450 divided by 200.
Yeah.
450.
Yeah, you told me it's
4,500.
Not 450.
So what number?
400.
Yeah.
Let's go about 30 more seconds.
450 is 400.
So
200.
I just divide on number 2, right?
Mm-hmm. That gives you the constant, but it asks for the equation. So once you have the constant,
How much is just the So, for this part,
so what's your equation?
I thought things I was never been at
So you don't have the equation. It says write the equation. So we'll come to it, okay? So here we go. Look, most of you are doing really well at this. Some of us are having a little bit of trouble. So first you have to find the constant. It is $4,500 for 200, is that right, 200? 200 meters. That gives me $22.50 per meter. This is not my answer, because it asks me to write an equation. That's my K. So now that I have my constant, my equation is y equals 22 x. Once I have my constant, I just substitute it into the equation. Number 2 says, what does the constant represent? It represents dollars per meter. Because it's $4,500 for every 200 meters. So it's dollars per meter. But then it says in letter C, what would 700 meters cost? Well, dollars divided by meters. Y divided by x. My x is meters, so I can say y equals 22 times the meters. So get your calculators, help me out here. Do 2250 times 700. And I think it gives us like 14,500. I got to keep my street cred up somehow. 50. No, multiply.
Yes.
So it should give me 14,500, something like that? Is that it? 14,500? So, how much does it cost? It costs 14,000.
That's not what I got.
What'd you get?
15,750.
2250 times 700?
Yeah.
So what is it?
$15,750.
There it is. Okay. That's why I was asking. What questions do we have here?
Oh, so that's for B and C too.
There's B. There's C. Okay? So once you have the equation, you can substitute any number in for x. But it gave us a specific one to substitute in. Okay? Here's what I want you to try for me right now. Let's do number 3. Really, your homework is going to be 3 and 4. I'd like to see them done before we leave, but we only have about like 7 minutes. So let's start on number 3 and see if we can get through it. Okay? Your homework's 3 and 4. So it gives you a table to start with. You have to actually read. So I think it says $8 per whatever, per hour.
Yes.
Okay, so you have to fill in that table first. And again, this is, y'all are going to be working in the real world soon. So if you're making $8 per hour, how much are you going to make in 1 hour? 2 hours, 3 hours. If you don't work, how much do you make? Like, those are all, I don't want to say easy questions, but they are going to be easier.
Wait, how are we supposed to graph for number?
How are you gonna get your rank?
Letter B.
Well, do you have to go by ones? Could you go by fives? Could you go by eights? You can count however you want. So it could go 8, 16, 24. You can count by however much you want on the y-axis.
Shots? Okay.
She added. No, she took some. She added. about that.
So if you're getting paid $8 per
I actually
hour,
don't know.
you work 0 hours. How much money do you make?
I feel like
Okay,
that.
okay. If you work 1 hour, how much money do you make? Okay,
Oh, okay.
All you do is.
So I times.
there you go. Okay, so here we go. 3A, you're making $8 per hour. So we have hours and we have money. 0 hours, if you don't work, you don't make money. If you work 1, you get 8. If you work 2, well, 8 times 2 is 16, 3 is 24, 4 is 32. It's all right, I put it there anyway. What's my constant?
8.
Yeah, my constant is 8. So the equation, because every time it goes up by 8, is y equals 8x. When I graph this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Over here, I'm going to say 8, 16, 24, 32, 0, 0, 1, 8, 2, 16. So I can mark it however I'd like to. 324, 432. Is this, that's actually a really good line. Is this direct variation?
Yes.
Yes, it goes through the origin. It's a straight line. So we've got part A and B. Part C says write an equation. Well, once you know the constant is 8, you have the equation. Y equals 8x. Okay, your homework is numbers 4 and 5. Okay, you have 2 minutes left in class. You were doing numbers 4 and 5. Love you, kiddos.